Warning: the content of the video that you are about to watch pertains to the harvest of fur-bearing wildlife through the practice of ethical, sound wildlife management of modern-day trapping. If this bothers you, if it triggers you in any way, shape, or form, please leave this channel now. Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. Guys, here we are in the fur shed now. I want to kind of go over with you the beams that we use as far as fleshing and how the knives fit them, and how you want to try to look for get the knife to match the beam, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's jump right into this and get started. All right, guys, so here's the beam that we use for scraping, everything except for mink, and we even do a few of them on here, but then we do especially those ones down South Louisiana that are so big and wide, and then we scrape a few rats on it too, but for the most part it's mostly just coons, fox, coyotes, bobcats, that kind of stuff. Mike and I both like a nice wide beam. This beam's almost about 7.5 inches wide. The wider it is, the bigger swath you can take with your knife when you're going down. It makes it a little easier that way. It makes the work quicker, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Also, you can see that there's a little bit of curvature to that beam, but there's not much. Now, it's pretty nicked up from doing some beaver and some beef hides on it. So we need to take a belt sander and sand this thing down and get it back smooth again. Once you get a beam nicked up, you need to smooth it back out again. We like a flatter type beam more so than the really curved, rounded type. That way, like I said, you get a bigger swath with your knife when you're coming down through. And I'll show you here in just a minute what I'm talking about. All right, guys, so we've got a knife here in our hands. We got the beam here. You can see, I hope, by laying this knife up here, where in the angle that it would be when we're fleshing something, there's not a whole lot of play one way or the other. So I'm actually taking about a 4-inch swath out of that back of that fur when I push down. That's a pretty good swath. If you get too much curvature to it, you're only going to end up taking about 1.5 to 2 inches of a swath. So try to keep it as flat as you can. I mean, it's just better in my opinion. Not saying it's the right way or the wrong way. This is just what I like. You need to find something that suits you and fits you. The biggest thing you don't want to do is get off over here on the side of the beam when you're pushing, because what that's going to do is that's going to allow that hide to wrinkle. And when it wrinkles, you're going to knock a hole. I'll promise you that. So try to stay down the center of your beam, but try to get it so that you're taking a pretty good swath of fat off when you go. Now this is our beaver beam. We scrape a lot of beaver on it. We scrape some beef hides and deer hides on it too. Mike does some bears as well. And you can see it's quite a bit wider. You're a full 8 inches wide here. And what this is a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe. My good friend and faithful viewer here, Derek, he sent this to me. And then we just took I'll flip this around so maybe you can see. Get this knife out of my hands here. We took an old fleshing beam that we had here that was about wore out, and we just cut the nose off and then screwed it down onto that old beam. Works absolutely wonderful scraping beaver. The wider you can get a beam for beaver, the better off you're going to be. One of those little pointed beams like we showed over yonder there for doing the coon, the fox, coyotes, that kind of stuff, will work. It's just not as handy as, say, a wider beam is. You can take a whole lot more off at a time when you're doing it. It just makes work go a little faster for you. And again, try to get it so that it matches your knife. I hope you can see that. I mean, again, but on these type of beams, you can run down the side as long as you're not clear over on the edge. You can run down the side of it and you're going to be okay. And also, again, you can run down the side of it because your beaver is laid out flat in front of you versus being cased and slid over top of it. It makes things a lot better. Now I'm going to get a piece of 3-inch PVC pipe and cut it down to make a mink scraping beam out of it. I think it'll work a whole lot better for us. I think it's just a better deal all the way around. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and end this little video here. Again, it's not a earth-shattering information, but I do believe it's pretty good, and I believe there's some useful things in there you could use should you choose to. I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. If you would, please just hit that thumbs up for me. That's all I'm asking. And once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.